Good day to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. Today we would like to present to you the point of view of one of the greatest Polish writer and journalist, his opinion about Russia, because there is an ongoing war in Ukraine which we are all observing and asking ourselves how to understand it and how to understand the Russian mentality and what will be their influence also on Polish culture. With us is Marek Kądzielski, Polish philosopher. Again, thank you for coming to our studio.
Welcome. Thank you very much.
And talking about this exquisite and very interesting figure of Stanislaw Cat-Mackiewicz, who was, after all, a writer, a diplomat, politician, a lawyer, a person who was born in St. Petersburg, so in Russia, but of course raised as a Pole. He was also the Polish politician, and in some time one of the prime minister of Polish government in exile between 1954 and 1955. But so a very rich personality with a lot of impact on especially Polish intelligentsia. And he understood Russia in many ways. He was fascinated by Russian literature, especially by Dostoevsky. But he was showing also the Russian mentality and trying to teach Poles how to understand Russia. And he was absolutely horrified with everyday, ordinary life in Russia. Even though he was fascinated by its culture, he wrote such words that while in our country the pupils learn to know, the workers work to learn, in Russia the human individual is driven to every work, not by consideration of his own individual interest, but by two factors, one of which is terror, the other is systematic induction of this human individual into the state of revolutionary hysteria, into the state of an actor reciting the most pathetic of his roles, and which this diary revolutionary hashes. Society is hysterical every day. And it seems like it didn't change even today, because one thing is, of course, terror, which is put upon Russian society as well by the state. And we've seen mass imprisonment and bringing down all the protests and what's going on. But the other thing is that the people are put right now, even by the government and by propaganda, into the state that they are fighting against fascism. And moreover, the independence of Russian state is at stake if they don't take the Ukraine.
Coming from the end, another misunderstanding that fascism is abused definitely because the enemy during World War II was Nazi Germany. And we have to admit that Nazism and communism are two forms of socialism, one of which is national and another is international. It was Stalin's propaganda to put a label of fascism to Nazism, not to associate those two forms of government that came to arrangement and understanding just because these are two forms of socialism. And what is so much terrifying about the socialism is what Kołakowski writes at the end of the main current of Marxism, that socialism always, as he underlines, always ends up in a genocide. And this is a fact that only those two forms of government led to genocide in our history, in the history of our civilization. Yes, but it is not only the propaganda, but also what I believe, and not only I and other philosophers also, that Russians simply think in this way. And that those two factors that we mentioned in some of our previous episodes, which are present in every day, in daily life of Russians, and one is lie. This is also important, because this is something that distinguishes Western societies from the Russian one.
Because Russians are lying, and in the society, the government, but also ordinary people.
Yes, ordinary people are lying. They are lying on a daily basis and day after day, and this is the phenomenon described by Dostoevsky, but this is also the phenomenon observed, for instance, by Richard Pipes, born in Poland, American historian who was advisor to American government for Eastern Europe and Russia, that Russians are lying even if you caught them lying, meaning that they don't feel ashamed. So this is great difference. They continue lying. So what we may expect that their diplomacy will be still lying about Ukraine, no matter what pictures you will show on the TV, they will deny and lie. And another factor is violence that is also overwhelming and constantly present. And people think in category of violence. For instance, Russian friends, when asked how mature their children are, used to answer that they are mature enough to massacre your face, literally speaking, translating from Russian, which means they're grown enough to kick your ass. And this is normal definition used in a common language, and this is not the way I would describe my son or
grown-up children.
Yes, that they are grown up.
And we will, so just to summarize and wrap up this episode, so basically two things: lie and violence are the definition of the Russian mentality. No matter if the label on it is democracy or communism or imperial terrorism or anything else, this stays the same. It was portrayed by many writers such as Dostoevsky, but also Stanislaw Cat-Mackiewicz, which we very strongly encourage you to read. And thank you for watching Poland Daily Culture.